everyone. Welcome back to the Uncle Bob Crypto podcast. I'm here with Kirill, and yeah, let's get into it.
Uncle Bob, hi. I suggest we have a good and sincere conversation today. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thank you very much for coming on. Tell us a little bit about that T-shirt you're wearing.
It's Metallica one. It's my elder brother who influenced me a lot with a good taste in music, and I bought it about 15 years ago in Finland, and it's still alive. You see.
What, you're a metalhead?
Yeah. You can see. Yeah.
It's skinhead though.
But by the way, adore ska and ska punk music, and that's another how to say, that's
another story.
Yeah, that's my cup of tea.
Yeah, it used to be mine when I was young and growing up. I was into death metal, properly into it. Like, I used to have long hair and all of it. I'm a little bit older than you, but okay. I used to love Sepultura, Metallica, of course. But it was all kind of death metal, thrash, straight edge, and then I went through that phase. But I still look back with fond memories. Which bands do you like, or are your favorites?
No, it all started, of course, with some techno, and then some I don't know, rap music, Michael Jackson. But then when I heard, I think it was Master of Puppets, The Battery. So it just completely blown away my mind. And then Nirvana, and by and by I started doing some research. It was Offspring, and then there was an era of ska and Bad Manners, the Scatolites, NoFX for my and some Russian bands as well, like Distemper. They are the best, I think, on the Russian stage. And another, like for today, my favorite Russian band is Siberian Meat Grinder.
It sounds serious, man.
Yeah. It's a unique style. They have their unique style, and quite popular in Europe, I would say, as well. So they're having a lot of gigs, and they've done several tours. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that little link to Russia. Are you Russian?
I'm native Russian. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background growing up, and a little bit about your story.
Yeah. So I'm 35. I was born in Leningrad, so made in Soviet Union. And maybe in regards of this, my love to a little bit heavy music, and I have a bit of rebel soul due to I was born in a city of several revolutions, and it's quite a unique atmosphere in St. Petersburg. So I grew up in a nice neighborhood, attended a school, and then entered the uni. I was studying logistics, but can tell you sincerely that was not the best time of my life. But
how come?
No, how to say, student time, I was lost. So no girlfriend, no funds, and
what
maybe
were you dreaming of?
I was dreaming of selling CDs in subway, in metro. So that was my dream.
So more of an entrepreneurial thing.
No, how to say, at that stage, yeah, not so much skills, but yeah, I had this. I can tell you that I had this spirit, yeah, of doing something, like creating something. And now,
did you end up selling CDs in the subways a little bit as well?
Luckily no. So I can tell that my first job was doing some freight forwarding, or even forwarding inside of the port. So I'm doing some paperwork, some dealing with customs, with authorities, doing some phytosanitary checks or tests, and yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and then I I joined like several freight forwarding companies, and by that time, my native elder brother, he already lived in Finland, um, and he was also involved in logistics and some warehousing services. He worked for a company, and there was a meeting with our parents, like a friendly dinner, and they told us, like, boys, we have a suggestion for you. We can lend you some money, like a starting capital, but upon one condition. And we said, like, okay, what's that? And they told, like, you remain brothers, so main condition, you don't quarrel because of mutual cooperation. And using this case, I would like to say huge thanks to my native elder brother Alexei. So I'm very grateful for your patience, for your mentoring, and um, yeah, no pants cheating, even in these crisis times.
So you went into business with your brother. I'll be honest with you. I went into business with both of my brothers when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
It was a mistake at that time, because when you get into business, you got to kind of hope that you do something different to your brother as well. Like you're both good at different skills, and those skills make the company a little bit better. And I think we all kind of got into business with the same end point, but maybe not the same level of commitment. But it works for some people. It seemed to have worked for you. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So we founded the company about 12 years ago. Quite a distance, I would say. Yeah. So I lived in Russia and in St. Petersburg, and then there were some like paper formalities. I had to apply for visa, job permit, and it took about half a year. But then I moved to Finland. It was a small port town called Kotka. It's only 60 kilometers away from Finnish-Russian border. Yeah, we started doing logistics, worked from home, maybe for half a year, then rented an office, got some colleagues, and I was doing mostly the sales part, and Alexei concentrated on some, let's say, operations and stuff like that. Yeah. And everything was quite okay, so can't complain. But maybe after 5 years, I started feeling like a professional burnout. So I really started hating what we were doing, like because it had a feeling of like same shit, different day. Like a lot of operations you have to control, and since you're like a small business, you have to depend on a lot of people and companies, and sometimes like a huge chain and a lot of fuck ups. That's it. Yeah. And another point is that the margins started getting like lower and lower. Yeah, tighter. It was incredible. And like, again, thanks to my brother and his support, we started like talking to each other, and I told him like, let's try something different, like let's diversify. Otherwise, I don't know like what to do else. So, and he allowed me to visit some expos, some meetings, meetups, and I went to Asia. I've been to Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Taiwan, Indonesia, and I met some people, and like our idea was to handle some trading business within agricultural sector. So we started doing some research, and like it's very simple. people, what they will always eat, yeah. So why not? And we managed to find some customers in Asia because it's a booming population-wise region, and we started shipping wheat flour and wheat bran pellets, like it's a side product of grain milling. So that's what we do now. And in October last year, I have moved to Spain, and like enjoying my life now. So yeah, yeah.
How come you're enjoying it so much more now than you were when you were all those years ago, suffering that burnout? What's changed? What's different?
I can tell you that it was 1 year and 23 days ago, I met my mentor, Nick. He's a Kung Fu and Dao Yoga master, and I started doing some exercises, and you know, it was so funny, like when doing some exercises I felt so stiff, like couldn't have repeated after him. So but now it's like getting better, and I'm very grateful to him. And we had an intention to move to Malaga area, but we have done it to Alicante. And like today it's a bit dull day, but a lot of sun, nice weather, friendly people, good food. I like to eat a lot. Yeah. And another passion which appeared in my life about 2.5 years ago, of course, it's cryptocurrencies.
Wow. Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
give us the full story here. This is why we're here.
Yeah. So about summertime 2017, yeah, I got a call from a friend of mine from St. Petersburg, and he asked like, hey, can you get some video cards for mining?
What month would have this been? It's 2000. Is it 2017 or 2018?
17, yeah, 17, just before the
boom, the bull run.
Yeah.
What so month? Can you remember which month?
I think June or July, the very beginning of July, yeah, maybe, yeah.
I was in August.
Okay. Yeah. So he asked me like if you can find something, and I really had no idea. Like I do remember 5 years ago we visited Slovenia, and I could have seen like everywhere on each and every cafe they had this "We accept Bitcoin" like label, yeah, mark. And I didn't like pay attention to that, but I don't know what happened. But I started looking what is Ethereum, what is Bitcoin, and what is blockchain. And again, like maybe a bit of my romantic soul, it started like, okay, maybe this tech could change people's life for better. But now, like, I think, as you know, Les, as music, as same as in music, big money spoils thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the journey started like I bought some Bitcoin. I remember maybe in September, and some Ethereum. At that stage, it was around, Bitcoin was about 3,000 euro. I bought some Satoshis and then bought some Ethereum. And my first cryptocurrency altcoin exchange was Hit BTC. And in the troll box, I've seen some guys like typing like HVN to the moon, Hive Terminal. Yeah.
It was that simple.
Yet it was that simple, and I was that naive that I bought it. And immediately, like, I felt myself as a great investor. As of course, like in October, November, it started booming. Yeah,
of course. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
thought you had, you'd caught that wave. Me
yeah,
too. We
yeah,
just didn't realize all waves crash
yeah, 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 yeah.
eventually.
So yeah, we were like talking to my brother, like, okay, so maybe the capitalization, well, it reaches $1 trillion. Compared to this dot-com boom, it was also 1 trillion, but times have changed, like 20 years passed, and maybe 1 trillion. It's maybe like at that time 1 trillion. It's maybe like 20 trillion now. So when we hold it, and yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, I'm
So
very
you held it
grateful.
all of the way through to you. Let me get that clear.
Yeah.
You were just like me. I too Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then I got in on a couple of altcoins, and then I got into Z Classic. And Z
Uh-huh.
Classic, you remember that? It went from like, I don't know, it was from $2 to $240
Yeah, 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 yeah,
in
yeah.
about a month.
Did you cash out?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I cashed out at at 60. When it all went
But
all the way back down. I think at that time it's the same for many people. I just thought it was going to keep going up. I was so naive. I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
yeah.
of market cycles. I just
Yeah,
thought it's going to go up. I'm going to be rich. I was like an evangelist to my family, to
yeah,
my friends. You've got to get in now, like now or never, guys. Christmas dinner. We have a
yeah,
big, all the families get together.
mm-hmm.
And I was just saying, like, you've got to buy Litecoin. You
Yeah,
got to look, buy Litecoin. And
yeah,
I even set up this YouTube channel at the time. And I was just saying to everybody, I was doing little videos saying, hey, look, guys, I'm doing overtime at work. I'm making
yeah,
it count. You've got to get in now. It's now or
yeah,
never. I mean, I was just firmly, fully 100% moon buoyed up to the eyeballs, you know?
yeah,
And yeah. Then 2018 for me was just buying every dip because I thought I didn't realize we're in a bear market, and
yeah,
you know you should sell the rallies. You can buy at the bottom, but you sell the rallies. Didn't know that, so I just carried on, and gosh, it's now I think the market has beaten me into a state of submission to a degree, but there's still that little moon boy inside of me. There's still that little. Uh, how about you? What was 2018 and 2019 like for you? What tell us about your
yeah.
investments and what you were doing?
Yeah, yeah. I've invested quite a lot of in Hive Terminal, Hive project. The reason why, so when I first bought it, like I just bought it and uh, throw away to my ledger, just store it, and then I started doing the research, and I was a bit familiar with what they're trying to do. Um Briefly speaking, it's a financial factoring platform uh, backed up by the blockchain tech. I'm not the tech guy, I can tell you sincerely, so it's not my strongest point. But what I realized, like while doing the research, global financial factoring annual market turnover is 3 trillion US dollars. It's a huge amount, like huge amount. And about 2/3 of this volume is concentrated in Europe. Hive Terminal is a Slovenian company, and they have an intention like to become a pan-European blockchain-based financial invoice factoring company. So, briefly speaking, what is an invoice factoring? So let's imagine that you are like a manufacturer of some I don't know, like furniture accessories, and you have luck to be contracted with IKEA, for example, a huge monster. Yeah, you supply them the goods, but due to the like terms and conditions, due to the business norms, they usually pay you maybe half a year after the goods are delivered to their warehouse. And during this time, you have to pay for electricity, you have to pay the wages, salaries, you have to pay the rent. Yeah. And like, but you are a small business, so maybe like a family company with 10 employees, and it's sometimes hard to apply for bank loans because they prefer maybe bigger scale. And if you apply to some traditional factoring companies, it's a very well established business, like with hundreds of years history. But sometimes they tell you, like, for example, in my case, we applied to several factoring companies in Finland. We are buying wheat flour from Russia and selling it to Thailand, for example, yeah, to a noodle production, to a noodle factory. And they told us, like, okay, we don't have an office in Russia, we don't have an office in Thailand, so we cannot guarantee you anything. You can work, for example, with Western Europe, with such countries as Netherlands, Germany, France, I don't know. And but I told them, okay, guys, but my market is there back in Asia, and it was a really frustrating thing. At some point, you reach the ceiling, yeah, and you cannot grow. And what Hive Terminal offers, and I hope that they will develop to that stage, that they're connecting. It's a peer-to-peer platform, so they're connecting investors from all over the world to those SMEs, like small and medium-sized entrepreneurs.
Mm.
The small businesses, they can get access to relatively cheap and fast, bureaucracy-free liquidity, and investors can gain solid returns. Just, you can buy an invoice and maybe, like, depends, but in about let's say 2 months, once it gets mature, you buy it with a discount, and in about 2 months you get it full amount. Yeah, so it's nothing new, but the blockchain and financial sector, it's a good match. And once you marry these technologies, it's not like corporations, they like some cheating with their accounting, but for small businesses, they really prefer it transparent. Yeah. And I can tell you that buying invoices and giving a hand of help to small businesses in order they can develop and they can grow and feed their families. So it's very much satisfying. So you are not investing in some indexes or stocks or these financial instruments like derivatives or stuff like that. You help real people. It's not speculation. It's I don't know, like, it's very healthy, and that is what this is what I really like in Hive Terminal.
Mm. And how active are the team? Are they? They've been around for how long now? How many years?
No, it's the company is maybe 4 years. 4 years.
4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So have they got many? Has this been proven? Are they a proven solid company? You're still an investor, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hold the utility token, and my brother bought a couple of invoices from their platform. Wow. So yeah.
Was he happy with the service provided?
Yeah, like, no issues, and money were returned in due time. They can be so how the company is built. So how it's established. There has been really a good progress recently. So they have changed the tokenomics. There is more organic demand now for the token. The token is needed for several reasons. It helps, like, to view the market invoice market. You have to log into the platform and you have to um, send some tokens to the wallet, and then you have the access uh, to the invoice market. And then to buy an invoice, you have to pay 1% from the invoice amount in HVN, in these tokens. So it goes to the team, so it's their commission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have recently also, like a great news, they have recently announced cooperation with a Swiss-based venture capital fund. And I think that it will really help. So for the time being, they're in a test mode in their native Slovenia, in their native country. But before the end of this quarter, they have a plan to enter several more European markets, and that would be really exciting.
Wow, so they're expanding. And where can you find the token, by the way, if you wanted to buy it?
No, I can tell you that still most of the trading volume it's on HitBTC, but you can find it also on IDEX and Livecoin. It's not on the fancy exchanges, and that's what the community been bashing the team and pushing so hard. But you know, there were a lot of supporters who turned their faces back in 2018. It was still like a lot of hype on the market, and the team announced that there was a plan to get a listing on like top 10 major exchange, but it didn't happen for the reason that the exchange has increased the listing fee, and the team, like, I still how to say, adore, and there is a huge respect for the team for taking this hard decision not to pay that higher fee, listing fee, and save money for the real development, for the platform building. Like, and you see now it's a working product. It's a working product, and a lot of tokens are listed on huge exchanges, but it's still like, okay, even not on a better stage.
It's a little bit of a frustration, really, because how do you find the real value of the share? Unfortunately, every cryptocurrency or every altcoin is in some way or other is dependent on Bitcoin becoming more a much more liquid or a much more valuable asset.
Yeah.
And because of that, maybe the share price, you're saying that the development is going on behind the scenes, and you really respect them for that. But the share price maybe doesn't adequately or accurately give us it's not an accurate value at the moment.
I see what you mean. Like this 2017 bull run, it spoiled us. It spoiled us a lot. Like we were 10x. Like, what is 10x? It's nothing. Like, it can boost tomorrow. Yeah. But the real business, it really takes time. It takes time to build a good product. It's how to say, and who knows, like the team, maybe their approach is better long term, because we still have very steep regulations, very, how to say, very unregulated sphere, new one. It's a sort of like a wild west, and who knows what happens in half a year. And this step by step organic development. I understand like 2 years, 3 years, it's quite a long distance. But I do remember like myself when we started working, I was like 2-3 years always on the phone, always by the laptop.
Doing the hard yards, doing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hard
yeah, yeah.
work. It's true.
Yeah, yeah, and like maybe 3, 4, 5 years after, like they appeared some reputation. Some customers started referring to their friends, mates, and like more people came in. So yeah, I agree that from my point of view, the marketing could have been better. Yeah, but who knows? Who knows? I'm not part of the team. I'm just a token holder, and they are inside. They are brewing inside this.
It'd be interesting to speak to them and actually get them on the podcast and find out what they're doing and bring a little bit more light and attention to that. If you know anybody at the team, I'd be.
Uncle Bob, yeah, it will be my pleasure to connect. Yeah. But the thing is that maybe I don't know the exact timing, but in a couple of weeks or so, there will be a blog about the plans for further European expansion. So maybe that could be a great timing. But I have the team's contacts, and of course you can always join the official Telegram, and
I will do.
And if possible, like in the comments, I will share the community run Telegram channel. I can tell you that I'm following quite a few groups, and Hive Terminal's community really like one of the best. You've recently talked to Petty Stash. He's like
he's proper, like he's a believer. I'm actually going to be doing a podcast with him hopefully once a week.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a Hive Terminal evangelist. So
he's a great supporter. But you know, it's also like a lot of people cannot understand what is financial factoring. I myself, I got to know about it maybe 5 years ago when we started doing trading and we started searching for this additional financial liquidity. So it's not like, you know, like Verge being partnered with Pornhub. Everybody can understand it, yeah? But what is financial factoring? Okay. You know, if we talk about some influences, when we try to reach them out, so they tell, okay, Slovenia, a very small country, like 2 million people, why even we should bother? And then financial factoring, what's that? It's like a rocket science, seems to them. The only person, and I'm sending her best regards, huge love and hugs, my bare Russian style hugs. It's Jessica Walker, who she's brilliant.
I'm getting her on the show.
No, she's aware of Hive Terminal, and there was a luck, like in August 2019 we had a interview with her, with Oliver Muldoon. He used to be a community manager for Hive Terminal, and another like brilliant person. Maybe Uncle Bob, it's worth someday you can connect to him as well. You'll be amazed with the knowledge, with his attitude and like sincerity and openness. And I know he had a lot of tokens himself, but he didn't cash out when the token was 40 cents. You know, so
wow, God. And now I'm just looking at it. It's zero for those out there who are looking for an investment opportunity. It is 0.0034 cents. The volume isn't that great at the moment, but that I don't think all it will take is for somebody to conditions to be better, for somebody to start market buying at a later stage. It has 500 million.
I'm not encouraging.
Do your own research, totally, is what we're saying. But It's currently at
It's not
7.
a financial it's not a financial advice, but you know, it's a working product with
Yeah.
the plans to expand to Europe, like a really huge market. You can check yourself financial factoring volumes, like per country. You will be impressed by the figures. And then the industry, Hive Terminal is not the only one company. For example, there is a platform, it's called Crowds. They got financed by Barclays Bank. I
Yeah.
think it like matters something,
Of
you
course
know?
it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So it's,
imagine something, a partnership like that with a company like this. Really,
yeah,
this is like a pearl.
yeah.
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 It's an undiscovered pearl right
Yeah,
now.
and you know, this the tokenomics, it's created in such a way that it makes the platform secure. It uses blockchain. It adds transparency. Uh, but like, if you use the platform, um, data is stored securely, and you can then understand. Uh, it's my two gangsters out there, like fighting a little bit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So why not? So you can do your research, and I think personally, like I keep accumulating. That's what I can say.
Good luck to you. And look, I hope
Yeah.
it works out. I think I mean, why not? I'm thinking to myself, why shouldn't I just buy a few tokens and just see where it goes?
Yeah, yeah,
Like you say, a real use case. It's a legit company, and
yeah.
things can only get better. But is there? I'm going to finish up now. Is there any
Okay.
kind of message you want to leave any viewers with right now?
I would like to apply to our female, how to say, not followers but viewers, and say, ladies, do not marry entrepreneurs. As my native elder brother says to his wife, you have 3 kids and I have 4. So, you know, being married to your own business, sometimes it sucks. Of course, it gives you a lot of freedom. But again, dear ladies, like, think twice. If an entrepreneur asks you for your hand and heart, so think twice, yeah. And listen to Petty Stash. At least you see, and Uncle Bob, of course. And because you'll see, at least, maybe who cares about the cryptocurrencies, but you see like a huge pile of pure testosterone. So that's it.
Okay, Kirill. Well, look, thanks for coming on the show, and
Thanks so
have a
much.
great weekend.
Thank you. Same.
Take care.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.